Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Mathematics Paper 2 Crash Course. Alright, so this is going to be our first session for this particular crash course, and this is how we intend to run through it. So in this session, we're going to cover... Okay, let me just mute these messages. Just give me a moment. I don't want them to distort the sound in the recording. Just a moment. Okay, that should do it. Alright, so yeah, as I was saying, just check if my audio is okay. Okay, great. So in this session, we're going to look at two topics. That is set notation, quadratic equations, and flowchart. Complete questions or versions ready for the exam. Okay? And we'll be done. Then we are going to proceed to matrices, probability, and geometric progression tomorrow. And then once we are done with this, we are now going to okay, let me just mute it from here. Okay, we're going to progress to section B. Section B, we're going to look at just 4 topics: earth geometry, trigonometry, and the other 2. So for course 3 of 3, that will be on Saturday evening, 4th July, and then on Sunday from 14 to 18:30 we're going to look at linear programming and cubic functions. Yeah, so that is basically our goal for this crash course. So if you know you need the help, make sure you sign up for the entire crash course, because once you are done learning everything that has been prepared for you, you will be actually in a better position to sit for that final exam. Okay, just give me a moment. I don't want these messages to keep disturbing me. I don't know if you're able to hear them. Yeah, but I just don't want them to be disturbing my lesson. I have WhatsApp on my laptop, so unfortunately I keep hearing notifications. I can't seem to find where to switch them off. Okay, so where is that button? Chats, notification, sounds. Okay, I think I found it. Play sound, off. Okay, everything seems off. Comes back again. I'll deal with it later. All right, so yeah, we now get down to today's business. So set notation is one of the simplest topics in mathematics paper 2, section A. Section A, by the way, is always compulsory. Section A is always compulsory, so you are expected to answer everything in mathematics paper 2 section A. Then when you go to section B, you need to choose 4 questions of your choice. Not more, not less. You can do less, but 4 is a maximum. That is what you are required to answer. Section A, you have, that is 52 marks, yes. And then section B, the total is 48 marks, because from the 4 questions you are choosing, each question is 12 marks. Yeah, so 12 times 4, that gives you 48. Yeah, so in section A, you are required to score at least everything there, 52 marks. Okay, and then in section B, minimum you should aim for is like 35 and above, which is very doable. You can even get a 40 there, all right, as your minimum. Okay, so in okay, these sounds keep disturbing me now. Can't seem to identify where they're coming from. Mighty guy. Yeah, anyway, let us learn. I've wasted a lot of time just talking about these sounds. Yeah, let me just reduce the volume on my headsets for now. Mr. Emmanuel, you're laughing at me. Yeah, my mind is just fixed on the lesson. I'm not functioning properly. I can't find the button for switching off the sounds. Yeah, okay. So there are only 2 versions they'll bring for you this question. Set notation. It's either they'll bring a Venn diagram for you, of which you will be required to find the unknown value. As you can see in this set, there is one unknown value. Okay, there's an X there appearing in actually all the sets. So the first question they will ask you is to find the unknown value. All right, once you find the unknown value, then they will give you follow-up questions. So that is the first version. Okay, maybe, I don't know, are you able to hear these sounds for the WhatsApp messages? I just want to make sure that you're not being disturbed. If I'm the only one hearing them, then we are good. But if you're able to hear them, then I need to figure out how to switch them off. Are you able to hear them on your end? If you're not able to hear them, please let me know, because I don't want people to be disturbed. I don't want someone to miss a point simply because of a WhatsApp sound. Okay, I think there's a response there. Let me just check. Great. If you can't hear them, then we're good. Okay, I'll be suffering alone here. All right, so there are only 2 versions, like I was saying. It's either they'll give you a Venn diagram like this one, or they'll give you something like this, where they, like the way it is in linear programming, they will give you some description of a scenario. Then from here, they'll need you to gather information which you're supposed to use to come up with a Venn diagram. Only 2 versions. Okay, so you know both versions, then you are okay. Mchwachonga question, say this one I'm hammering it in the exam, come what may. All right, so that is that. So in this session, we're going to look at both of these versions so that we make sure that we are good to go. Okay, so like I mentioned, this is a crash course, so I'll only be teaching what is relevant. Okay, I won't start explaining theories about set notation and all that. I'll just be teaching you how to solve these questions, because that is what you need right now. All right, that's all you need to be able to pass this exam with flying colors. Okay, so the question is coming from mathematics paper 2, of course, 2023 GCE, and it reads: learners in a grade 10 class were asked the types of drinks they liked. The Venn diagram shows their responses. Okay, we have Fanta there. So these circles that you're seeing, in case someone is being exposed to set notation for the first time, these circles that you're seeing are the ones that we're referring to as sets. And then this box around the circles, that's what we are referring to as the Venn diagram. Okay, and then outside these circles, so all these ridges here, okay, let me change the color of my pen. All these regions you are seeing out here, they are what compose of the rest of the set. So if you are listing what is in the universal set, you need to also list the values that are sitting outside here. You don't just list what is in these sets, no. Okay, the universal set is basically everything inside this box. Okay, so that is that. So we have 3 sets here. This one is called Fanta, this one is called Coke, and then the other one is called Sprite. So now Here is the key to answering the first question. Given that 40 learners liked Fanta, find the value of X. Whenever they ask you this question, they will link it to a specific region, all right, of which that particular region, they also give you the total for that region. So in this case, they're telling us the set for Fanta, the total for that set is what? 40. Because they're saying given that 40 learners in total liked what? Fanta. So meaning when you add everything in that region, which is the set for Fanta, when you add everything here, what are you supposed to get? You're supposed to get a 40. So that is the first thing you need to figure out. Okay, they'll give you a value, they'll link it to a region, a specific region. Okay, then they'll ask you to find the unknown value. So that is the information you need to use. So since they are saying that the set for Fanta, the total is 40, what are you going to do? Just get the set for Fanta, add everything in here, okay, all these values. So meaning I'm going to say Roman numeral 1, 17 plus x plus 2 plus x plus x, okay, 17 plus x plus 2 plus x plus x, everything inside the set of Fanta. They are saying that the total should be what? 40. Then you equate it to that total, 40. Okay, at the end, simply solve for the unknown value, which is x in this case. So I'm now going to say 17 plus 2. We're grouping the like terms. This guy and that guy, they are constants. Then we group the variables x plus x is equal to 40. So 17 plus 2 will give us 19. Then x plus x will give us positive 3x. And then we equate it to 40. Remember, this is paper 2, so have your calculator close by as you are learning, so that you can be able to compute with me. Okay, when you subtract there, what are you going to get? You should get 21 there. 40 minus 19 should give us 21. Then you're going to divide both sides by 3. There you cancel, meaning the value of x is what? 7. So usually these values are always strategically placed. Okay, it is highly unlikely that you're going to find a decimal here. Okay, but that doesn't mean the examiner might not bring something for you. A decimal is the same as a fraction, by the way. Okay, so it's highly unlikely that for this question and for the one for matrices where they ask you to find the value of the unknown entry, I'm sure by now you're exploring exam questions, so you have an idea about what I'm talking about. Okay, they'll probably give you a value that will divide directly into a value you find on the right here. You can see on the right we found 21, and 3 goes directly into 21. This shows you that, okay, what I'm doing sort of makes sense. Okay, you should worry when you're finding decimals or fractions. Okay, so the first value is very important. Why? Because it is linked to all the questions for this topic in paper 2 section A. So if your x is wrong, if the value of x is wrong, then you're going to get a 0 on this question, unfortunately, because everything else is going to be linked to this value. That's how petty examiners are. Okay, they want to make sure that if you get this one wrong, everything will be wrong. So you have to be very careful when solving this question. So now there is a way you can prove whether what you have found is correct. Okay, our x is equal to 7 there. So now how can you quickly prove that the value of x you have found is correct? Simply capture this expression here. All right, okay, after you've simplified, don't go back to the main one where you start plugging in a 7 there, a 7 there. That's a long cut. So after you simplify, before you start crossing values to the other side, that's the expression you're going to capture, which is 19 plus 3x. And then you've been told to say the set for Fanta is supposed to give you a 40, right? So we are going to test. If I put the value of x there, the one I found there, and then I simplify, am I going to get a 40? Okay, so what is that going to give me? To give me 19 plus 21, which gives me a 40. At this point, you can even mark yourself to say the value of x I found is correct. All right, so we're done with question 1. That is that. So the first question they will give you will be finding the unknown value. Then make sure you link it to a specific region. That's how come you're going to come up with this expression here. All right, you list everything, you add everything in that region where the value they will give you is linked, and then equate it to the same value they've given you, and then solve for the unknown value. That's how you solve this question. Very simple. Okay, we now proceed to the next question. Okay, let's scroll down. All right, so the next question is saying find the total number of learners in the class. Okay, so to find the total number of learners here, you can do it the harder way or the easy way. You've already been told that the set for Fanta contains 40 learners, right? So you can simply add 40 plus, so this is Roman numeral 2, 40 plus these guys here, there, and there. Okay, because we know to say this one, the total is already 40. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll do it the easy way. So I'll say 40 plus 5 plus x minus 2. I've captured that value there, plus 3 plus the 7 here. They said find the total number of learners in the class, even those who didn't like any of the 3 drinks. So when you add everything, what are you going to get? So first things first, you are going to plug in the value of x we found. We found 7 as the value of what? As the value of x. So meaning that will give us 45, 50, 60. All right, 60 learners. Use a calculator to simplify that. I just quickly added. Okay, 40 plus 5, that is 45. This will give us 5. So plus 5, that is 50. This will give us 10. Total will be 60. And you are done. Okay, and then the next question is saying how many learners did not like Fanta? Did not like Fanta simply means all the learners outside the set of Fanta. Okay, so which learners are outside the set of Fanta? We have these ones here, these ones here, these ones, and these ones as well. These do not like any of the drinks, so they also didn't like Fanta. So all you have to do is simply add those that are outside the set of Fanta. So we're going to say number 3A. Those that didn't like Fanta, we are going to say 5 plus x minus 2 plus 3 plus 7. Okay, 5 plus x minus 2 plus 3 plus 7. These are the guys that didn't like Fanta. So we're going to say 5 plus 7. Remember the value of x we found was 7. Then we say plus 3 plus 7. This will give me 10. This also give me 10. So 20 learners. I know you have calculators, you can punch these values. So that's why you see me rushing through the calculations. Okay, 7 minus 2 give us a 5, plus 5, that's 10. 3 plus 7 is 10. That will give you a 20 at the end. And you are done. Okay, as always, if you feel I'm too fast, if you feel I'm too fast, please let me know so that I can slow down. I don't want to leave anyone behind. Okay, we now go to the last question. How many learners liked 2 types of drinks only? Okay, so now let us go to the region, the sets. I need you to understand something here. Okay, this region right there is the region for those who liked Fanta and Coke only. All right, they didn't like any other drink except these 2, Fanta and Coke only. Okay, this region is for those who liked Sprite, okay, and Coke only. These ones here liked okay, just a moment. These ones here liked Fanta and Sprite only. These ones at the center here liked all 3 drinks. Okay, these ones here liked Coke only. These ones here liked Fanta only. These ones here liked Sprite only, and these ones here liked none of the drinks. Okay, now the question is asking for those who liked 2 types of drinks only. So those that like 2 types of drinks only are just these regions. This one here, that one there, and that one there. So meaning what are we going to do? We simply add everything there. Okay, I saw a question. Where is that? So where there is x, yes, please. Yes, you have to replace with 7. That's how come, as well as solving this question, you will notice to say here there was x. So since we found the value of x as 7, that is how come I put up this 7 right here. All right, so now we are finding the learners who liked only 2 types of drinks. So simply capture those regions representing those who liked only 2 types of drinks. So we have these regions here, x plus 2, this region right there. So I'm going to say x plus 2, and then there are these regions, these guys here, plus x minus 2, and then there are also these guys here, plus x. Then everywhere where there's x, we put a 7. So we are going to say 7 plus 2 plus 7 minus 2 plus 7. Okay, what do you get when you simplify there? So this is going to give us 0, that should be 21. 21 learners. Today my brain is on fire. Okay, so I know, okay, if you punch 7 plus, so this will give you 0, right? 2 minus 2 is 0. 7 plus 7 plus 7 is 21. That's how I quickly did that one. So here, this is not paper 2. I don't have to be worrying about people figuring out whether how I've calculated. You can simply punch these values into your calculator, and you'll be able to get the correct answer. Yeah, so that is that. So make sure whatever you are dealing with in your particular question, here we are dealing with learners. You'll notice here I said 60 learners, there are 21 learners. Even on the answer for the previous question, I also indicated learners. Okay, if you are dealing with farmers, indicate. It's more like your SI unit. All right, for the final answer, don't just put a value like 60. Okay, 21. No, make sure you indicate what are you dealing with. Are you dealing with goats? Are you dealing with cows? Are you dealing with people? Are you dealing with pupils, students, farmers, teachers? Indicate what the question is talking about. So here we're talking about learners. That's how come I keep saying learners at the end. Learners at the end. And we're done with question 1. All right, we proceed to the next question, and you notice again it is the same format. Okay, this one came in 2022, was written by the grade 12s. There is a Venn diagram there again. Okay, there is also an unknown value inside the Venn diagram. Okay, let's read the question. The Venn diagram shows the number of learners who took at least one of the 3 subjects: biology, chemistry, and physics. Okay, there we have those 3 sets: biology, chemistry, and physics. Then the first question, they are saying, given that the total, okay, that is giving you the region now, given that the total number of learners was 170, what does that tell you? When I add everything in the Venn diagram, what am I supposed to get? 170. There is your expression. So all you're going to do is x plus 5 plus 70 plus 15 plus x plus 10 plus x minus 5 is equal to what? 170. And then solve for x. That's all. Okay, so I'm going to say x plus 5 plus 70 plus 15. So make sure you capture all the values. Don't miss out any values. So I've captured x, 5, 70. I now need to capture 15 and x. So 15 plus x plus 10. Okay, 15 plus x plus 10 plus x minus 5 plus x minus 5. Then what region is linked to these values? Okay, they said the total number is what? 170. So I'm going to equate it to what? 170, and then solve for x. So at this point, I'll first group the like terms. So x, 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 all of them, I put them together. So I'm going to say x plus x plus x. I've captured that x, 1, 2, 3. You have 3 x's here, you can see that. And then I capture the number, so I have 5 and 70, 15. So I'm going to say plus 5 plus 70 plus 15. I've captured those values. Then I'm remaining with 10 and minus 5. So plus 10 minus 5 is equal to 170. Make sure you don't leave out a value here. Remember, I said the value of x is very, very important. You mess up there, you mess up everywhere on this question, you get a 0. All right, so once you have grouped the like terms, then you can carefully simplify. X plus x plus x will give us 3x, and then on that one My brain is now lagging. I'll need the calculator. Where is it? Okay. Right. So you punch everything on the left side of the equal sign. So I'm going to say 5 plus 70 plus that will give me 90. Okay, 90 minus 5 or 95. Work on the left, so I'll get 95. But let me confirm. 70 plus 5 plus 15 plus 10 minus 5. Oops, I was punching and the calculator was off. Okay, 70 plus 5 plus 15 plus 10 minus 5. Okay, that is 95. So I'm going to say equals, oh sorry, not equals first. Okay, plus 95. That is positive 95 is equal to what? 170. Alright, so I've done this to simplify my confirmation that the value I will find will be correct. So don't move the values to the right too quickly. Solve on the left, find one constant, and then move it to the right. So that when it's time for you to prove, you are going to pick this expression. Replace the value of x with the value you find, and then solve, and then compare. The answer you find should be this one. If you find a different answer, it simply means you have messed up somewhere. Okay? So at this point, I'll now move the 95 to the right. So I'm going to say 170 minus 95. I'll now say 3x is equal to, what is 170 minus 95? 170 minus 95. That gives me 75. Okay? And I know 3 can exactly go into 75. So that's how come I'll be able to say these values were strategically placed. What is 75 divided by 3? That gives me 25. So the value of x here is what? 25. Now let's prove. Is it correct or wrong? We capture which expression? This one here, the simplified one. So I'm going to say 3x plus 95. Let us solve and see if we're going to get 170. Okay, so where there's x, I'll put 25. And then I say plus 95. So 3 times 25 will give me 75. Okay, and then I say plus 95. What do I get? Okay, so 75 plus 95, that gives me exactly 170. At this point, I don't even have to wait for the examiner. I'm not saying you should mark yourself in the exam. No, you can note to say I've found the correct answer. So nje kuzichonga kweni kamba hapo kumanji nishapana chonga tinadia ka 2 marks up. Okay, sometimes when you walk out, math is very simple to a point whereby you can even confidently walk into an exam knowing what you are going to get. The time I was walking in to write my exam in 2024, I knew that I'm coming out of this exam with a distinction 1. Okay, how can you tell? The way you have prepared and how you are answering past exam papers. If you are having difficulties, then you know to say, Appa, I'm not so safe. But if you are acing your questions, then you can know to say, Appa, penny and Appa, I can be in the ranges of my distinction or of my merit. Okay, don't even start thinking of leakages. Shani, you are relaxed, thinking you spend the whole night looking for a leakage. Math is very simple. The leakage is already there. Your past papers. Just solve past papers from 2017 to 2025. And that is your leakage. Okay? These other subjects, Yamanotsa, these are hard because the scope is huge. They can pick questions from anywhere. But math is simple. They just change values. And sometimes they also change the way they phrase the questions. That's all. So that is that. Just focus on past papers. Okay. We have our value there. We now proceed to the next question. How many learners took biology and physics but not chemistry? Now here, of course, we're looking at mathematics, but there is a bit of English we need to understand very well here. Because if you miss it here, we'll end up finding wrong values. So now, let me explain exactly what these words you are seeing here mean. They are saying, find the number of learners who took biology and physics. Okay, these learners should take how many subjects? 2. Biology and physics, not 1 subject, but 2. Okay, and these should not be the ones that are also taking what? Chemistry. So in other words, they are simply saying, find the number of learners who took biology and physics only. Okay, It doesn't mean that even those who took biology only should be included. No. The only people who are qualifying here are those who are taking two subjects, which are biology and physics. So go to your sets and then identify the region representing those people who are taking these two subjects. So biology is this one here, physics is this one. These are the guys who took biology and physics only. Alright? These ones only took biology, so they don't qualify because they also need to be taking physics. These ones only took physics. They didn't take biology, so they don't qualify. So it's only that region I've circled here. So you're simply going to say A, 15 learners, and you're done. As simple as that. So pay attention to the wording. I keep speaking about this one. I'm not talking about marriage. Wording, the way they phrase the question is very important for you to understand. Okay? And then the next one says, how many learners took two subjects only? Okay? Which ones are those? Two subjects only, we have 5 there, 15, and x. So I'm going to say B is equal to, we add everything there. So I'm going to say 5 plus 15 plus x. What is the value of x we found? We found 25. So I'm going to say 15. While there's x, I put 25. And then I add, that should give me 5 plus 15 is 20 plus 25, that should be 45. 45 what? We're dealing with learners, so I'll say learners. And you are done. Okay, we go to the next one. One subject only. Okay, which regions are for those who are taking one subject only? It is these guys here. Let me erase these other ones. So we have these guys here, these ones there, and those guys there. Those are the only ones who are taking one subject. So we're going to say x plus 10 plus x minus 5. So pick the values together with their signs. This 5 is negative. That's why I'm saying minus 5. Okay, then substitute the value you found for x with x in your expression. So while there's x, I'll put 25. And then I say plus 10 plus 25 again. There's another x there. Then I say 5. Okay, when I simplify there, what do I get? This will give me 35. This will give me 20. So 35 plus 20, that should be 55. Okay, 55 learners. And you are done. Okay, I'm sure by now you can see the similarities. These two questions are from different exam papers, but they are just pretty much the same. Let's go to another one, the last one. The Venn diagram below shows the number of students in each of the three courses at a university. Okay, we have 3 sets inside there. There's mathematics, chemistry, and physics. All right, there's also an unknown value inside the sets. First question again, given that there were 25 students altogether, what does altogether mean? This was 2020 paper 2 GCE. Okay, what does altogether mean? It simply means when you add everything, the total. There were 25 students altogether. So when you add everything inside the Venn diagram, what are you supposed to get? 25. That's your expression there. So you add everything here. So I'm going to say 6, that is Roman numeral 1, 6 plus 5 minus x plus 7. I'll be capturing them in threes. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to say plus 4 minus x plus x minus 3 minus x. Okay, 4 minus x captured, x plus 3, it's plus 3 here, not minus, plus 3 minus x, and then I'm going to say plus 2. Okay, what is the value linked to this region? They said given that there were 25 students altogether, so it's 25, so I'll equate it to 25. Then I simplify. So I'll first group the like terms. So as you can see, there are a couple of values here. That is why I'm saying you have to be very careful when collecting like terms. Make sure you don't mess up. All right. So I'll first start by collecting the constants. So we have 6 plus 5 plus 7, 6 plus 5 plus 7. I can be checking them once I collect. And then plus 4 plus 3. Okay, plus 4 plus 3. I'm just focusing on constants. Plus 2. the constants are done. I can now go to the variables. So I have the negative x there and this one here, so I'll say minus x, and then there's this positive x and this negative x, so plus x minus x is equal to 25. Then I simplify everything, so I'll punch everything starting from the 6 here all the way to this 2. So I'll say 6 plus 5 plus 7, 6 plus 5 plus 7, 4 plus 3 plus 2, 4 plus 3 plus 2, 6 plus 5 plus 7, 4 plus 3 plus 2 equals, what does that give me? It gives me 27. So I'll say 27. Okay, then I simplify the variables. So here what do you get? You're going to get negative 2x, okay, plus x minus x. I'm doing it step by step. I don't want people to be confused anywhere. So I'll say 27. I also don't want to rush to take the constant to the other side because I want to have a simplified expression on the left for confirming that the value of x I'll find will be correct. Then here what are you going to get? When you simplify, you're going to get what? Negative x. Okay, negative x minus x. That's what you're going to have there, is equal to what? 25. So that will be 27 minus 2x is equal to what? 25. Right, then this guy will go to the other side, right? So I'm going to have negative 2x is equal to 25 minus 27. The positive 27 has crossed the equal sign. It has become negative 27 on the right. Then when I simplify on the right, what do I get? I'm going to get negative 2 there. We've done integers, so at this point everyone should be okay with what I'm doing. And then I'll divide both sides by what? Negative 2. By negative 2 like that. Cancel the signs there, cancel the 2's, meaning your value of x is going to be equal to what? Cancel those signs. Why am I cancelling? Negative divided by negative gives you a positive. So I know to say here it's going to be a positive. And we said if you can't see the sign, then you know it's a positive. If you can't see the power, then you know it's a 1. Alright, 2 divided by 2 there will give me a 1. So that's your final value for 1. Now, for x. X is equal to 1. Let us prove. So we are going to pick the most simplified expression, which is what? This one here. Okay, the most simplified. So I'm going to say 27 minus 2x. What does that give me? Does it indeed give me 25? If it gives me 25, then it means the value of x I have found is correct. So I'm going to say 27 minus 2. Where there's x, I'll put the 1 we found as the value of x. So I'm going to say 27 minus 2 because 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, 27 minus 2 will give us 25. At this point, nishinachonga ati nika 2 marks. Okay, you proceed to the next question. As simple as that. So you can see how simple these questions are. Very, very simple questions. All right. Section A, you have no choice. So long as you're my student, I don't want you to sleep on section A. Nekulima marks here free. Paper 2 is very easy. Challenges in paper 1. That's why people have challenges. Okay. Paper 2, as you can see, there are only 2 versions for this question. You know both of them, then you are good to go. Alright? But if you go to paper 1, under coordinate geometry, you don't know whether they will bring gradient, equation of a line, midpoint, distance, parallel lines, equations of parallel lines, equations of perpendicular lines. So there, they'll just bring 2 questions from all that I've listed. Go to AP, you don't know whether they'll bring, find the common difference, the term, the sum of the terms, the arithmetic mean, you don't know. Alright? So that's how come many people fail, because they don't cover all of those. So the only safety in paper 1 is cover all possible versions. You go to coordinate geometry, know the entire topic. Okay? You go to arithmetic progression, know all the formulas, know how to solve all those questions. You go to quadratic algebra, know quadratic equations, know quadratic expressions. You need to know factorization by grouping, in case they bring you that type of equation, which is very simple. In case they bring you a question on difference of 2 squares, you need to know that. Quadratic equation always comes. You don't know which one they are going to bring also. They have various versions for quadratic equations. So that's how come many people fail paper 1. And that's what causes them to fail. Because many people, again, focus only on paper 2. Math is like is like the way it is at the university. Paper 1, consider it as your CA. You cannot write your exam without your CA. If your CA is very poor, chances of you passing the exam are very slim. So if you perform poorly in mathematics paper 1, you are not likely to pass the exam. So you have to strike a balance. You have to pass both mathematics paper 1 and paper 2. So that is that. So we are done. We now proceed to question 2. How many students studied? So we're dealing with students, right? So when you're finding the first value, there's no need for you to put students, because you're finding the value of x. All right, so it can't say x is equal to 25 students. No, because here, are you telling me that this is 25 as in, okay, let me not go there, I might confuse someone. But you don't put students there, you only put students or whatever it is you're dealing with when you are plugging in those values. Okay, so how many students studied mathematics and chemistry only? How many studied math and chemistry only? So go look for those sets. Math is here, chemistry is here. The region for those who studied only these two are those ones here. So I'm going to say Roman numeral 2a is equal to 5 minus x. What did you find as your 5? It was 1. So I'll say 1 there where there is x, meaning my final answer will be for what? Students. We're dealing with students now. And you are done. How many students took one course only? One course only, it's just this one here, this one, and that one. Only those second values. So I'm going to say B is 6 plus 2 plus 7, giving us 7 plus 6, that is 13 plus 2, 15 students. Okay. Okay, 6 plus 6 is 12. So if I say plus 7, that's 13. 13 plus 2, 15. All right, and you are done. How many took chemistry and physics? They've brought this English again, just to confuse people. How many took chemistry and physics, but not mathematics? So here, just focus on these. You're looking for guys or students rather who took only chemistry and physics. Go to your sets and look for those regions. Chemistry and physics only. Where are those guys? This is physics, this is chemistry. Only is that region there. So I'm going to say C is equal to 3 minus x. What is your x? Your x is a 1. All right, 3 minus 1, that gives you 2 students. And you are done. Okay, so we are done with the first version of mathematics paper 2, section A, set notation. The next version we're going to look at now is where we need to come up with a Venn diagram ourselves. Okay, so now at this point I'll give you a 6 minutes break only. All right, just 6 minutes. Immediately after 6 minutes we'll start learning. So if you're going to leave, please make sure you come back early. Otherwise, use the same link I shared in the group to join the class. So just 6 minutes, and then we look at those other the last version for this question. I don't want to dilute the information by switching without giving people a break. So I'll give you this short break, then we can proceed to the next one. So I'll be back in exactly 6 minutes. The time right now on my phone is 21:41. At 21:47 we are resuming, so please be back by that time.